Dearly beloved Muslims, guests, those who are present and those who are viewing us from around the globe, we greet you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Assalamu alaikum. Please turn off all cell phones until after Jumah, or silence them at least. Thank you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala falah. Hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-a'la al-azim. Huwa alladhi khalaqa insana min tin wa ukhrijahu min adh-dhulumati ila nur. Fanahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu. Nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi. Na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihi Allah fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd wa huwa ala kulli syai'in qadir. Wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. قال الله في القرآن الكريم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وأيضا في القرآن الكريم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تسألون به والأرحم إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, we give all the praise, all the thanks, the complete and perfect praise to Almighty God, Allah, the one and only creator of the heavens and the earth, who is without fault, who is without failure, who is without sleep, who is without disease, who is without death. Yet he created life and he created death and the provisions therein for every single living thing. He reminds us, he said he made this creation, all of it, but he had no need for this creation. He had no need for this earth that we occupy. He had no need for the sun that we benefit from. He had no need from the moon, the stars, all of this vast creation. He says that he had no need for any of it, nor any need of anything from it, and specifically speaking from us. So again, he says that while he sits on the throne, he does not need it. He does not need it to support him, for he is not concrete. He's not physical. He's not material, somewhere occupying space. Yet he made the concrete. He made the physical. He made the material, but again, he himself, he is not of that he created. And he's not limited to that. He's not limited to, by, or contained in the concrete, the material, or the physical. He cannot be contained. He's too big, as we hear in every adhan and throughout our prayers. Allahu Akbar, he's too big. Nothing can contain Allah. And we are so grateful that he is so big, and he lets us know that as big as he is, and as most powerful as he is, he says that all of that he's subject to his mercy. And we're introduced to his words, the Quran. These words that came from Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The last, the khatam, the seal of the prophets. This Quran, we introduce Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the introduction. And every page, chapter, every chapter touches this, you know. This is how it begins. We seek Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful compassion. And we say, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All the praise, again, the complete and perfect praise, it all belongs to him. We are really not worthy of any praise. Any praise we get, we have to divert it from ourselves. We thank him when we say we get, Alhamdulillah, we have to divert that. Because we can't do anything. We don't have anything except what Allah has given us. All of it is due to him. Everything is due to him. So Alhamdulillah, to Rabbil Alameen. And he had what's again later come in the same initial chapter, the opening chapter, to say again, Ar-Rahman Nir-Rahim. So merciful. This is this dominant, this piece of mercy. Every created thing depends on Allah's mercy. Our life is no different from anything else. His mercy is manifested in and through this vast creation that we're benefited from. Everything in nature, including in our own self, at its essence, is this rahmah, this mercy, this compassion, you know. And again, it's so powerful that Allah says, Kataba ala nafsi rahmah. He said he prescribes, obligates himself to this rule of mercy, to let us know that really that if he, the one who is big and has everything, all the power, if he rules for himself, obligates himself to be compassionate and merciful, what does that say about us? It's to speak to us, to tell us that should be a rule that we operate by more than anything else. We should be more compassionate. We should be more merciful than anything else, with the one that created their life, and say that he is that. Then that's the message for us. He's saying that he's speaking to us. We're the only ones that can comprehend this. He's speaking to us, you know. Mercy, this mercy. Allah, he's merciful in giving. He's merciful in giving his generosity. He's merciful in giving his kindness, supplying us with every single thing that we need. Everything we need, it comes from Allah, from his gifts, from his benefits, from his bounty. All of this is based on his mercy, you know. And he says also he's merciful in redeeming us. All right, he redeemed us, you know. If we go astray, if we fall, if we lose the way, we ask him for God, we know that we're going to lose, but he's merciful in redeeming us, giving us another chance. This is Allah, you know. He's merciful. He brings us back. Brings us back to the path that he put us on. That's mercy. That's mercy. And we should do the same thing. We see people going astray. We see people going off. That we should be merciful and trying to help them get on the path to the life that Almighty God Allah put them on. This is communication for us in terms of what we should be doing, you know. To have this time to come back, be redeemed, and then we have life again, the true life. The true life, you know. His mercy gave us life in the first place. As he said, you know, we're connected. We said, "Ya ayyuhan nasu wattaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahidah." He created us from a single soul, and then he says, "Wattaqul wal arham." Arham, this we know you hear rahmah in that, mercy. The wounds that bore you have this high regard. He said for him, attaqullah, attaqu rabbakum, and then he says, well, attaqu also arham. The same. He's given us to the wounds that bore us. That we should have the same regard, this reverence for the wounds that bore us. Because in what bears us, he said that mercy is connected. His compassion is in that. His compassion, his mercy. It wouldn't be that if he hadn't put it there. Just like he gives us that in every single thing. And we know that just last week or so, we had in this city and around the world actually people rallying, protesting, and marching and speaking. You know, we were asked to speak before the march in D.C. about the earth, the climate, and justice. And it was just beautiful to see all these signs that spoke about the earth. This is our common home. All of that, people recognizing that there's a great need to protect that gave life to us. Oh, that's one of the wounds. The earth, all of us, we come out of the earth. And what is this really? This is earth. It goes right back to it. We come out of this. So the message is clear to us. We should respect that gives life to us. Yes, it's speaking to respect yourself. Allah wants you to respect yourself. You know, it's earth that gives life to your body. You can give an expression. But also that directly came from you, from that you came from, but also the environment that feeds our life. Just like the mother that Allah gives us that picture close to us, but we're to incorporate her, but also everything that she came from too, and that we came from. This earth, this mother, you know. It was here, and we call it Mother Earth, as we saw in many of the signs, and we call it Mother Nature, because again, the nature in it is the nature that we find in the mother in terms of how He cares for us. It gives us what we need, gives us comfort. We find out we build our homes with products from the earth, etc. All our comforts come from things of the earth. Our clothing, everything that give us these things comes from the earth. And we know that Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "The earth has been made for me and for my followers, a place for praying and a thing to perform tayammum. Therefore, any one of my followers can pray wherever the time of a prayer is due." This is what he said, you know. So he lets us know, al-ard masjidullah. This earth that we occupy, you know, that it's Allah's place of worship. It's Allah's. This whole earth, you know, is a mosque, masjidullah, you know. Some say mosque, you know, but this is a masjid. And we know for Christians, they would translate this that it's a church. The Jews may translate it that it's saying that it is a synagogue. Some may say it's a temple. The whole thing is really the same thing as saying that it is a place that we should have a high respect for. And it's meant to be a place for us to serve and worship the one who gave us life and gave it to us, this whole earth. This is what it's telling us, you know. We have to understand that this nature that's in the earth, everything in the earth, if we look at how Allah evolves things, He tells us in the Quran, and we study these things, that we, this human creature, will last. We'll last. Everything, the earth again is 4.6, just the earth itself is 4.6 billion years old. Man life don't go back that far, don't go back nowhere near that far. And certainly our own personal lives, again, at the minimum, most people, they just had a celebration in D.C. of people who made it to 100 years. They say 0.007 something worldwide makes it to even 100. So look at how short of a time that is when you look at the span of the earth itself, how long it's been around. You know, but a lot in the scientific mind that Allah blessed us to come into shows us that all this was here before us. We came out of this that was here before us. And Allah created us last as He said, we're the crown. He said the crown of creation, we're the Khalifa. We came behind the creation. But He made us to be the custodian of that we came out of. And everything in that we came out of is in us. Yes, we can talk about the scientific things, the magnesium, the zinc, the salt, all these different things. We can talk. That's in us, but also it's nature for compassion and giving and the benefits. That's in us too. And that's really to tell us that we should be displaying everything that's in the creation. We should be displaying that, but more because now we've been given something that none of it has, is that this particular intellect that we have that puts us in the position to now be custodians. And it was waiting for us. It was waiting for us because only we, the human being who came last, can bring out the benefits. It needed us, and it uses us. It couldn't use no other creature than Allah. Nothing else that was here before us could be used to bring out its value, to bring out its benefits, but us. And we have benefited from all these things now that we brought out of the creation because of what Allah has given us. We are supposed to protect and maintain those things that have given life to us. You know, we find many people who are close to the earth, Native Americans and others, different places where they're close to the earth. They have a natural respect because they know they're so close, so they know that it provides for all of their needs. They don't disrespect it at all. You know, it's natural for them. And of course, now the scientific mind shows that yes, shifting and changes have taken place over time, but it was over time to give human beings a time to adjust to that. But they say some of these recent histories, deserts are because the human beings stopped taking care of that was taking care of them. And they became a desert. And that's just a sign of what happens in your life. You know, what you don't use, you lose. They begin to just drain and not give anything back to cultivate the land that gave life to them. So this is the message for us. You know, we know Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In his nature, he was close to the earth. You know, even before Revelation, before he had Allah's words come to him direct, he was protecting the earth. He saw things in the road, in the way. He would move those things out of the way because he knows things should be in their proper place. He said things should be given their proper due. You know, if you see something out of place, put it in place. He was observing these things. Before he had Revelation, it tells us this is natural for the human being. Everything he did, we can look to find what is natural for the human being. Not just protecting the earth, but also how he protect those that was needed, orphans, seniors, etc., helping. That's natural for us to do these things because this is a part of the compassion that's in the nature that we have. That we should be, again, we should be displaying more of it than anything else. Because again, Allah said that he prescribed for himself. Kataba ala nafsi rahman. For himself. That's speaking to us. That's speaking to us. So we can do more, provide more, do more. So this Allah tells us, he says, La tabdila li khalaqullah. ذلك الدين قيما ولكن أكثر الناس لا يعلمون. Don't change the thing. Don't mess up what Allah has created. Don't do that. You see? He said don't alter it. Don't mess with this nature that he put in place. And this earth. And we know next week we'll be celebrating Mother. We have the Mother Earth and now we have the mothers that we come from. So between this talk we have the mother came before and the mother coming after. So we want to be conscious of these things, you know. And we know that because Allah Ta'ala put this verse and he mentions the wounds that bore us, because we know this word was not a word that the Arabs didn't have. They knew Rahim. They knew that. They didn't have Rahman. That they didn't have. They got that later. They came to understand what Rahman was. But Rahim, they understood this wound, where the life could come from, and this Arham being plural. So this mother, we know this role, so it tells us something. If Allah is saying you have to have a high regard for this that produces the life, that facilitates the life, have a high regard for this, that the role of mother, the role of woman, you see, the nature of the woman. It tells us that it has to be very important for our reflection. That's daka. Very important for our consideration. Very important for our physiological and psychological life. In terms of how we treat it, how we look at it, how we respect it, you know. This wonderment and this unselfish nature of creation that we found in the mother is of such that they had to call it motherly. Motherly. You know, this is how all life starts, regardless of what your race is. This is how your life starts. Your life starts with this compassionate picture with you and the mother, you know. And we know that if there was no mother nature within the human family, if there was no mother nature within the human group, then we would not be civil. We wouldn't have become a civilized society. That tells us how vital this particular attribute is. We know when people are not displaying this particular attribute, then we see them doing things that become, we say, inhumane or uncivil because of their behavior. You see? So this is why Allah wants us to highlight this particular attribute, this particular ingredient, this mother base. And we look at one of the wonderful things about this community where you all are now, the history of this community right here, in its essence. One of the things they found out was just respect, a high respect for the woman. A high respect for the woman. So they would begin to be seen in the world, women being dignified, protected, respected. And right now we know even this community here who have evolved and transitioned. They did a report about mosques in America, masjids in America, the ones that are the most friendliest ones to sisters, to women, and they found it to be among the African American community. They become models now, and they've actually had a report done by one of the scholars who looked at all of the across to find out which ones were closer to mosque in Medina, the Prophet's mosque, and they sent that report out. And I didn't pay attention to it, but there's one picture in there where they say this particular mosque is close to the mosque of the Prophet, where there's just an invisible line. They don't have walls separating sisters. There are no curtains separating sisters. They say there's just a natural line that separates the sisters. And they had this, and the picture was this mosque. I didn't even pay attention to it. It was this mosque right here, you know, because that pays tribute again to the history. And we saw how Muhammad the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Imam Muhammad, even before he got there, just the name Muhammad and the respect that came for women. And then we know even as we evolve and look at this whole picture of Muslim life and its rituals right now and how women are protected. People may misunderstand why the women are behind us because they are protected. Their life is so special. Life comes from them. Has to be protected. If I'm going to battle, I don't send I put something between my body to protect me. You see, that's vital, all this vital stuff that's precious to me. I have to put a shield. That's what the men represent, to protect the life that gave life to them. And Allah put it in our ritual to preserve that picture for all of humanity, to show us how special this is. It's not oppressed. No, we come from and out and in front. This is how life is. And the mother's there to shape that mind. You see? Just like the environment is here to help shape this. That's why we put it down. We have to get this to mother. We give this to mother first, but also Allah wants us to get the message that we have to stay connected to mother. We have to stay close to mother. This nature. All the stuff we're getting, we get it because we ask Allah to help us to shape and fashion our mind to bring out the benefits of the earth. You see, and we have good things. We have air now, lights, all kind of different things we have now because this connected with the earth and continues to connect with the earth. And we begin to see these things, these appreciations for science, etc., that begin to come out of us. Rabbi zidni, Rabbi zidni, Rabbi zidni ilm. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulih Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The mother, we are the Khalifa. We come out of the mother, and then we go out front and become imams. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's called an imam. And he also, we know that that's a title, the office of which was established for us by Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the millah, this way of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And we come out of this earth. Everything that we need are here. You know, just like we show when the baby comes here, it really doesn't have to look for the food. You know, the food is there. Don't have no big panic for the food. And again, we say the picture Allah gives us is right where the mother wants to hold that child, close to her heart. And that's the picture of all human life. But and then Allah tells us, He tells us, you know, the earth, just like the earth, we come from the earth, really no one should be going around hungry, really. It's enough that Allah gives to everybody. He even says in the Quran, say, what's wrong with you? He said, everything gets us food. So you get birds wake up in the morning on an empty stomach, they come back full. Everything gets food. So everything is here on the earth. It's right here. Out of my mercy, I provided these things for you. It's enough for you. So it tells us that if it's here, we just have to do the things that Allah has given us in our intellect that cause us to rise above things, to do more, to do better, you know, to get the things that supply our needs, to give us the dignity that we must have. And Allah gives that child to the parents. The mother first, she's the first teacher. That's who the child is given to. And then Allah even put things in the Quran to make sure that life is close to that mother and that the father don't interfere so many years that the child stays there to understand this picture. And the mother, we know that her main job is to turn that child to the Creator. That's the role of mother. It's the role of father too. But again, it's first with her to turn that child back to the life, to the one that gave it the life, and to begin to accept the guidance, the leadership that comes from Allah through the Quran, you know. And the child first starts looking at the parent. Well, that's their job. That's why Allah uses the same term for parents as He does for Himself. We got Rab, and He says Rabiyani, to use the term for the parents, you know. Allah have mercy upon them. As they had mercy on me when He said the Rabiyani, when they raised me. So Rab is in that word, the nurturing, this sustaining, to let us again look at this endearment that He gives in those close to us. We don't have to miss it. We can maybe sometimes we miss Allah and we see Him away, and we don't connect with what He gives us. So He gives us this picture close to us, and all we have to do is magnify what we see in the ones that He describes it of the mother. We know the compassion that comes with the mother, and also with the parents. And Allah says again, He says, "Ya ayyuhan nasu wattaqu rabbakum wa taqullaha alladhi tasaluna bihi wal arham," pushing us to think about the wombs, you know. They're the ones, you know, to begin to develop character. And we see we're finding the loss of that now, where a lot of parents are giving that role to other people. They're getting bogged down, they're getting distracted. This is part of the job of Shaitan now, to get us so distracted and so occupied that we can't do the number one job that Allah has given us to help shape the life to be the kind of life that He wants to turn back to Him, you know, in terms of developing and building the character, you know. And because without the right human character, we're nothing. We're lost. We become less than an animal. That's why we find in the word character, you hear care actor. Care actor. This is what the parents, their main job is through the care to show them how to act properly. It starts with the parents first, you know. And of course, if the parents in that environment, they begin to curse, use vulgar language, smoking, drinking, acting indecent, etc., then their mind becomes shaped by what they see, by what they were entrusted with. But they don't see it that way. They begin to be shaped by that. So that's where we begin to cripple our children from the very beginning. You know, if we don't connect with Allah's guidance. This is our job, to connect with His guidance, to give that to our children. We have to be teaching the Quran. We're not talking about just teaching the Quran in terms of how to recite the Quran. We're doing good jobs of doing that. We're doing a good job of teaching them how to memorize. No, we have to teach them the Quran, to understand it, how to apply the Quran, put it into their life. This is where we're failing to some degree. We wouldn't see some of the problems that we're having if we were having them to implement the Quran more so than just reciting in this. And we know that's very special and to be protected. So we know that we have coming up in a couple of weeks, Allah He sends us back to the womb. We're in the month of Ramadan, this ninth month, you know, and we know that it's all consistent with Allah. He didn't just put a number out of the sky. Being the ninth month, we know that we are 9 months in our mother. This is the normal time of any expected 9 months, and then Allah takes us back this month of Ramadan, and we understand the science of it. When the baby comes, the baby is not conscious of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim of Allah. Doesn't have that knowledge right now. So this is also 9 again, letting us know, and we say also the 9th chapter because it's consistent. It doesn't start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Again, giving respect to how Allah teaches things. And but we know that the baby is growing on its nature, just like Muhammad the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before he came into these words, representing that. So this is what this 9 represents again, to get back to the point where the nature that Allah gave us is fitrah. It's supporting us just like it supports the baby coming from the mother's womb. To go back, to connect back with Allah, And Allah lets us know, all life comes from water, the value of water. We have to have water before we get prepared for prayer. But Allah also said, if you don't have no water, go to the earth. Go to the earth, and we know He says in Tayammum. And again, we love, again, we say this often, how Allah put the words together. Tayammum. Yeah, you hear mama in there. You hear mom in that, So basically, it's go back to your mom, And it's basically the message. The message is water represents obviously moral and spiritual. If you lose that and you don't have that, He said go to the earth, which represents the rational. We can be clean rationally too. We have what someone was thinking one time. You can't make ablution in salt water, and the salt water represents rational. But yes, because that cleans us too. It purifies us. Moral teachings clean us, and also rational knowledge cleans us, and purifies us as well. So these are the messages and the things that Allah Ta'ala is giving us when He gives us these things. And we know that we're seeing a lot who are not connecting both the moral and the rational. And really, the 2 legs really represent that too. Everything Allah has given us, there's communication in everything He's given us. How they move, they work together. They don't move at the same time, but they move together to continue to advance the human life. This again is communication from Allah to tell us how we should begin to connect with that. And again, we know Jacques Cousteau, he said the 2 bodies he discovered when he made this discovery, as many of you know, the sweet water, the fresh and salt, he said they come together, but they don't mix. They don't mix. So again, this is all communication from Allah in terms to help us to advance upon the guidance that He has given us in this earth. So Allah, He sends us back to Mother if we begin to lose our way. We begin to lose our morals. And Allah tells us in the Quran, He says that He made us of the earth. So we know that's clear. And then He lets us know that out of the earth we came, and then He says that when we die, we return to the earth. And He says from that comes another creation. So that's also, some of us, we just focus on just the physical thing of dying and going back to the earth. No, Allah is trying to let us know that if we begin to give ourselves to immoral things, we begin to give ourselves to corruption, we begin to give ourselves to insensitivities in life, begin to be inhumane, etc., driven by the influence of narcotics, alcohol, all these different things, sex, etc., then you're dead. Under those conditions, you're really dead because you're not upon the life that Allah gave you, and you need to go back to the earth. So what he gives us in our prayer to take us back to the earth in our prayer, we say Allahu Akbar, and we end up going back connecting with the earth. Again, we recite His words and connect to get us back on track. We say, oh Allah, I lost it. I need your help. And He shows us how to get back on track through the communication and the very rituals that we have. To connect back with this communication, to connect back with the nature that He gave us. Which is why we have to, again, have these connections. So as we conclude, we want to thank Allah for blessing us to be conscious on this great day. And that's one of the things that this day of Jumah represents, this consciousness that Adam came into. And this is his creation, this intellect that Adam came into. So we're having a Mother's Day program on Mother's Day here. So hopefully we will come out and support that program. We know that Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was once asked, who among the people is the most worthy of my good companionship. So these are very popular reports. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told him, he said, your mother. So we know the man asked him again. He wanted to get it right. And the Prophet told him, your mother. And he asked him a third time. And the Prophet said, your mother. And then he asked him a fourth time, and then he said, your father. Your father. So obviously, basic math, that's 3 to 1. That's 3 to 1. That's some triple emphasis, not double emphasis. That's triple emphasis on the value of mother. What she means, what she represents, the picture of mother, you know. And again, look at this picture of the earth. Look at what they represent. So this is very, very special in terms of what Allah has given us. So we hope that we don't confine ourselves to doing something on one day of the year. But certainly we have to thank Allah for all good. It is something good, because some people that didn't have that, we find that obviously some mothers, they don't get any treatment. But we're not going to confine ourselves to this, because Allah tells us that have a high regard for the wombs that bore you all the time. And but you also have to see in this womb also expands to the communities that gave birth to you. This community gave birth to me. You know, I came out of this community. It's very precious to me. And so I have to have a high regard. I do. And all of those who are here, in whatever communities, those who are part of this community represents the womb itself for all those who embrace it, and helps us to be shaped by it and moved and can come together as a collective life. Just like the parts of the body begins to come together and develop in the womb, we're supposed to do that here. In all of our diversity, that we're together now. Allah brings us together. It's a beautiful picture. We have to understand the picture. We have evolved upon dynamics. And we don't want to, we say it many times, because again, we thank Allah for our diversity. And sometimes we miss it. We miss this diversity sometimes. And we just come here for ourselves. And but Allah don't call us here just for ourselves. He called us here to be together, to stay together, to work together. If we come together, we're supposed to build our life together. You see? And it's about work. We are called to work. This is not a day off for us. You know, some people, for them, a special day is a day off. And we're disappointed in some of our Muslim societies. I know some of you are from these lands where they shut the day down. But that's not the guidance that we're given in the Quran. Allah said we should be working. It's a day of work for us. It's not a day off. We work. He's called us from work, and he said go back to work. So stop. Come pay attention to Allah. It's the higher value. But work has value. But now you're focused right and work together. Because we're material and we're invisible. We need both. And we have to build our life. We can maximize our life if we come together, put our resources together. We can begin to do more. And we're hoping that you all will help us to do more. We're trying to expand. We're getting close. We're getting very close. We have to have schools. We have to have space to teach. We have to teach the Quran. We have to teach the Sirah. We have to do more teaching in the society. This world needs us. And we have to be taught right. And we need the space to do those teaching. So we need you all to help us. We're right here in the center of D.C. And we have a strong, long history of being evolved from the bottom and coming to the top, being oppressed. And we're becoming a light now. They're calling upon us. But we need resources to do more. So we need support. We need support. Support the community. Get involved in the community. If you're not involved doing something, you should find your place. It's about work. Work is worship. Work is worship. You know, if we have to work for the common good to advance our life, so that the moral nature that Allah put in every single child will begin to emerge. And the world will begin to see that. No one is born to be a member of ISIS. No one is born to be a criminal. No one is born to be a thief. We are all born to be just like Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Never lied. Never stole. Allah created us to be just like that. And this before he had revelation. He's showing us how Allah created us in the nature, to stick close to that nature. And if the world don't see it, then who's going to show them that? And he's the Khatam al-Nabiyyin. He's the last. And we represent him. He is our prophet. But for the world, he's not just for us. He's a rahmatul alameen, a rahmatul alameen. Back to this rahmah. Allah says mercy prevails over that. And that's also to tell us that also if Muhammad is the rahmatul alameen, that's also to tell us that the picture and the mercy and the compassion what Muhammad represents, that's going to prevail too. We can't miss that when Allah says that he's connecting these things for us. He's a Rabbil Alameen. Muhammad is a Rahmatul Alameen. And Allah says that prevails. That prevails. Let's let that be that prevails from us. Just a few quick important announcements. Sunday, we're going to have a pre-Ramadan. This will be our last first Sunday, and it'll be a pre-Ramadan potluck. And again, please, let's come together, bring something. Try not to just bring just yourself, but let's come together so we can share and be together. That'll be the last one before Ramadan, and we do have some educational things that'll be taking place too. Also, after that, Adams, and they're having an open house, the Adams Center, and they're celebrating their building, their development, their expansion phase is complete, and we thank Allah for that. We thank Allah. If you can make it out there to help celebrate with them, do that. This is good news for us. When we see Muslim facilities growing, Muslim bodies are growing, and they're doing great work. We should applaud those kind of things, and we need more of those things in society where we're doing good work. So we hope that you will see them. We have partnership with them and all the Muslims in the city, actually. The Sikh Temple in Rockville, they're having an open house. They're hoping that some of us will come out there and show the diversity with them as well. We're having our Youth Weekend School Closing Program on May the 21st. So come out and support our children, please. So they've been going through the weekend, learning a lot, and now they'll be having closing ceremony on May the 21st. So they'll come out for them, but also come out for those who volunteer. You know, the teachers who are helping them. Come out and support them as well. And then see what the needs are. Maybe the next time when you hear something will inspire you to do more, to give more to our children. It's about our children. That's the present future. You know, most of us will be gone. Like I said, most people don't live 100. More living to be 100, but again, it's still 0.00 something, you know. And so we look at the room here, most of us 100 years from now, most of us won't even be around. We have to invest in the future. We have to invest in that, and that also, it carries us with it. Our soul registers those things that we invest in. Allah done told us that, Sadiq al-Jawid, things we invest in, our soul is expanded upon those things that are good. And we know these are one of the things that we want to invest in. The Attorney General for D.C., Carl Racine, he's sponsoring a Protect Our Kids, Understanding and Preventing Human Trafficking. It's becoming a big deal here in the city. At one point, I believe D.C. was #1 in the whole nation in terms of kids disappearing and being subject of human trafficking. But 6:30 on May the 8th, just down the street from here at the Kennedy Center, we're hoping that you will all come to find out, to be educated, and to see how much more we can do, and how you can recognize. We've actually had some sister, I didn't know that she was a victim of human trafficking. And I had received a visit from one of the agencies, and they gave the description, but actually the way she was acting, she actually fit the description of ones who are obviously subjected to that in terms of how they come. So we need to know about these kind of things so we can be a bigger help to people. And so we're hoping that if you don't know much about it, that you'll come and also find out how you can get involved with these things. We're supposed to be involved in all the good in society to help human life. And this is one of the many things that we're talking about. And of course also then in Ramadan, we're going to have an educational 3 days of education with Imam Nasser Ahmed, and a couple of our local Mali instructors will also be teaching. That'll be June the 9th through the 11th. We're doing Ramadan educational sessions here over that whole weekend, and again, Imam Nasser Ahmed will be the main one. We thank Allah for guiding our hearts. We thank Allah for guiding our intentions, for guiding our lives here in the United States to this path, this way, Al-Islam. We ask Allah to keep us on the path and to give us His protection. May He keep our interest for the whole of religion, and that we live it fully in society, so that our life will be a testimony, a witness for all other societies of what Allah wants for mankind. May Allah give us light and open our eyes for the light, and forgive us our ignorance, our sins against our own life, so that we will have His mercy and a new chance for life and progress. Ameen. How much is Allah?
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala salah. Qad qamtu salah, qad qamtu salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Allahu Akbar. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون الذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Allahumma anta as-salam wa minka as-salam. Tabarakta ya jalali wa alaikum wa la quwwata illa billah. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. So I didn't go over all the announcements, but look at the bulletin, please. It's some more announcements. I try to get the ones that wanted the announcement, but please get the announcement, see what's going on, and hopefully we'll get more to. It's a lot of things in the bulletin. You need to know what's going on, and so they pass them out for you. So we'll save that time to be make us on. Assalamu alaikum. Oh.